let me put this to you because I don't even know if we're going to get to these stories because I have to ask you. We go down there and we're staying in an Airbnb and it's great. Katie Hannigan did all the legwork on that. Amazing. And so we're by the beach, but we're in the Collins Avenue down there and we're right in the mix of South Beach, all the sexy, swanky areas. So they do this thing on South Beach now. We went to restaurants, obviously, every night and day. And they do this thing where it's like gratuity is included. They call it a service charge sometimes, but they include the gratuity and it's 20%. But the waiters have this thing where they go, yeah, that's gratuity. It's added on. It's 20%, but we don't get that. We get maybe 8% of that or 5% because that goes to all of the staff. And I go, I had a problem a couple times because it's like, I don't want to feel cheap, but then it's like, it's 20% on here. What do you want from me? Like, that's not my thing. I understand I don't want to stiff anybody, but it's already 20% gratuity and you're calling it gratuity or a service charge. You're calling it 20% on the tip. And I'll tip a couple dollars on top of that so that you have something. But like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to tip 40%? Is that what's happening? So it's like a couple of times I had an uneasy feeling where it's like I wanted to take care of the waiter, obviously, because I do tip and I'm a good tipper. But the 20%, then it makes you feel weird. You know what I mean? Where it's like, if you want to tip more, it's like, I'm already tipping. Like, I'll like, if the bill is $117, I'll give like $120 or, $116, $120. I'll give $3 or $4 extra, but I'm not tipping another 20% on top of the 20%. What's your thoughts?
Well, as a Jew, tipping really does hurt. No, I'm typically a good tipper because I was a bartender once,
right.
And I know what it is working for tips. I do have a question for you on this. So the first time that you saw 20% gratuity,
right?
How did you find out that that's being split up? Did you actually ask the waiter, "Hey, is the tip included?" Is that what it's saying?
I had a whole because it happened in Aruba one time where the woman was like trying to tell me that it's a service charge and that's not a tip. She goes, "It's not a tip at all.
Right?
It's a service charge." And I go, I don't know what this is. Like, It's like you're telling me it's not a tip, but it's 20% added on to the
right.
She goes, it goes to the staff. It goes to the staff. I go, I thought we were paying the staff. Do I own the restaurant? Am I an angel investor in the restaurant? Like, I thought you guys paid the staff a salary, But there was a thing when I was waiting tables where it's like you would everybody would give you like 15%. At that time it was 15%. Right. And you would take it and you would have to tip out. You tip out the waiters, you tip out the food runner, you tip out the bartender, you tip everybody out. So maybe that's a version. So they were just, instead of doing that where everybody's on the honor system of tipping out, they go, this is mandatory and we are going to divvy this up. Maybe that's what's happening. I'm not sure, but it's like, I definitely don't want to stiff the waiter.
Right.
But I can't tip 40% on everything. And for them to ask that is insane.
Right. So I think if it says, firstly, to me, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot with the 20% gratuity because I actually tip better than that. I think typically speaking, not significantly better, but I would say. But anyways,
if you want to stand on a chair, you're already standing up.
If it says 20% gratuity, that's it. I'm paying what's there. And now if someone were to say to me, let's say a waiter were to go, oh, I know it says 20% gratuity, but that's not actually going to me, then I would go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Because that's my fake listening, right? Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
God, you use it with, even if it's a male waiter?
Male waiter. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm going to tip that guy what the amount is, but now I'm going to pull a Larry David move. I'm going to find the manager. I'm going to find someone else and go, hey man, just out of curiosity, I saw on the bill 20% gratuity. Is that not going to the waiter? And then let's say the guy goes, no, that goes to whatever. You go, great, I gave that guy what he deserved. Now, let's say he goes, no. Then I go, oh, waiter just scammed me. And then I go back to my initial system, which was just, hey, it said 20% gratuity on the bill. I think that first waiter was probably just scamming you. I think if the
Aruba waitress, Shannon, when I was asking her about it, she was like, no, it's not a tip. And then she suddenly couldn't speak English anymore.
Right. She was scamming you.
It was, yeah, I mean, she it's a service charge. I'm sure she wasn't. That's probably true. It was a service charge, but not telling me the whole story. Not only the whole story, but like, what's the expectation of me? Should I tip 40? Like, I can't do that. Like, no one can do that. So it's like, and that's an insane thing to ask with 20% already on.
It's also shockingly like I've never called someone out for not tipping me well enough. And so if it says on the receipt gratuity,
Well, the way the guy did it at this
Yeah.
Italian restaurant that we went to is like he did it like I'm explaining it because people always have questions about it. So he did it like a tutorial, like a YouTube tutorial.
so
was
he
like, "This
came
is
and he
20%."
presented the bill.
He goes,
and
"This
he's-
is I'm just trying to explain it because people
Right.
always ask questions about it." And I figured that the reason that they added 20% on is because they have people who are Dutch and from the countries that don't believe in tipping, and they get stiffed because
Right.
they think that it's not a thing over in their country.
they're being dicks.
Or they're
No, you're
just
being dicks.
or,
If you put gratuity on at 20%, and then the waiter comes over and says, "Hey, listen, this says 20%, but that's not actually my tip," the restaurant they're grifting. Then you need to
well,
raise
he's doing
your
it
prices.
like a tutorial where it's like I'm just explaining what this is because everybody always has questions about it.
Right.
It's gratuity, but it goes to the entire staff. I don't get that much of it, so anything else you could like whatever. But he did it as part of the explanation of the
that guy
charge,
sucks.
kind of a thing. So
That guy sucks.
So then
That
I
guy's a
tip him.
douche.
I tip him.
Right.
I tip him a little bit more. You know, give him a couple more
Have
dollars.
you ever, when you waited, did you ever do a pitch for a better tip? Whatever someone leaves, great. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
You move on.
Yeah.
You're a good waiter. You try and get
Yeah,
tipped
to do
well.
my job.
But to actually do a fucking pitch of, hey, by the way, and if you could buy, fucking Jew.
But he did it under the guise he was French.
Yeah.
He did it under the guise, Shannon, I think you're part French, and Dutch. I managed to work all your ethnicities into this because you're at fault. He did it like a thing where it's like, I'm explaining this, but also this
Right.
too. So I get because I don't like feeling that way.
Right.
It's like you go to a restaurant, you're getting treated a certain way.
Right.
It's also a feeling. You want to have
Yeah.
a good feeling when you leave.
yeah, they're making you feel shitty.
Kind of making me feel like I'm cheap.
Right.
So I tip him like a few dollars extra, and then I go out, and the manager, who is very accommodating and attentive, was like a little bit down, like from the restaurant. For some reason, he's talking to somebody else at
Right.
another restaurant, so it was out of the view of the waiter. So I pull him aside and I go, "Look, your guy did amazing. The service was amazing. He did an amazing job. So I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but." What's the policy here, dude? Who's gets what? Like,
Right.
is he making any money at all? Like, it just, and then he laid it out. He goes, he gets 10%, and then everybody else from the staff, because there's food runners, and it's like everybody, bus boys refilling
Yeah, so
water.
then the
It's like
restaurant-
everybody. It's like the tip out that we used to do. So it's
Right.
like after tip out, I was probably getting 10%.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I had to tip everybody out when I was waiting tables. So it's like that's probably an official version of what I was doing.
I got when I bartended, I didn't let people tip. It's annoying. It's like that's on the restaurant. The restaurant needs to raise its prices to reflect all the other services. The tip should be going to whoever did you service. That's it.
But the
Done.
prices are already pretty high. You know what I mean? Like I had the seafood linguine, and I went for it, and it was.
I'm saying I would rather know up front what you're charging me than having a waiter come by later and going, "Oh, and I need a little more
don't
money."
like that.
And yeah.
I just don't like it.
Would you go back to that restaurant after that experience with
No,
that
I
waiter?
wouldn't because the food didn't knock
Right.
didn't knock me out of the. It was fine. It didn't knock me out of the park, and then I did. But
So I'm saying it's bad business of them.
bad business.
that they're putting everybody, like you said, it's partly you want to have a good experience.
Right.
I'm uncomfortable even hearing the story.
Right.
So they're making everyone that comes into
is
the
that why you're standing?
restaurant.
Because you're ready to leave?
I
I
no.
can't keep a guest.
I'm ready
I
to-
can't keep a guest on
I'm
the
ready
podcast.
to call up this owner and yell at him. Can you track down the number, Shannon? Let's do that call on the podcast.
Oh my god, that would get the numbers. Shannon, I ate seafood linguine, and I know that offended you because I ate all the animals that you saw while you were allegedly scuba diving.
The guy's running a business. You're spending money there.
Yeah.
They should have enough insight to know that we're putting people in an uncomfortable situation
Yes.
every single time
Every
we hand them a
single
bill.
time.
So that's on them.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. This is going to make you furious. You're probably
Okay.
going to flip your lid. We went to Taco Tuesday. They had a Taco Tuesday. They have a Taco Tuesday in Aruba that we go to, and they have a Taco Tuesday in Miami. So we go to Taco Tuesday. The guy gives the bill. The bill's high because they put 20% on. And I go, okay, cool. So I tip, it's like 117. So I give him like 121, 120, whatever. And I go, just give me $20. The thing was, just give me $20 back. I said, just give me 20 back. And he comes back and gives me 10 back. I go, no, I need 20 back.
Right.
He goes, oh, I thought you meant 10. I go, no, 20. And then he goes back and he goes,
Is this a
whatever.
tour?
And it's like, okay, dude, like, Did you not hear me, or is this another
No, that's
game?
grifting. That guy's
You're playing a
grifting.
game.
No, that guy's straight up grifting. I'm curious to know.
The tacos were amazing.
Is this a touristy place that they're not?
I mean, it's right South Beach. It's all touristy. It's like It's like Times Square on a beach.
Yeah, these are Israeli Jews and they're grifting. They know that they're not looking for repeat business, so they don't mind scamming. These people are scamming, especially the waiter. The waiter purposely shorthanded.
I just don't like that.
I hate it.
It sits with me wrong. And the dining, you're right. Like the owner of the restaurant should be like, this is ruining the dining experience.
Yeah.
And then we went to a diner early, and like the woman, it was fine. There was none of that. It was just like whatever. It's like all good. She was like hustling around and more tables, more money, and but I was a waiter. For those of you going, oh, you were never a waiter. Oh, you don't, We got people in the service industry over there just like losing it on me, and I don't deserve it. And I'm feeling fat, but I was a model when I was there. I was feeling like a model. Guys, thank you for listening to Mike Vecchione Investigates. And if you go to gasdigitalnetwork.com and use promo code MBI, you will get 1 week free. That's gasdigitalnetwork.com. Promo code MBI, you will get 1 week free. Thank you again for listening to Mike Vecchione Investigates on the Gas Digital Network.